welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss an upload. I have finally been uploading more regularly. We love a good self-motivated queen working on things, yes. With that being said, if you guys have not seen one of my videos where I discuss some mental health stuff that I have, just to be a little bit upfront with you guys, I suffer from really bad anxiety. I've been diagnosed with depression, PTSD, just a wonderful slew of things to kind of sum it up. I'm coming at this from the perspective of someone who has mental health problems in a relationship, but also on the flip side of that, I have also dated people who have had their share of mental health issues. So because of that, I have started to kind of compile a list of things that are healthier ways of coping with things, healthier ways of dealing with things, how to deal with arguments, etc. Just kind of a list of things that is some advice that I would give, that it's taken me years to learn. It has taken me numerous relationships to learn these things and to figure some of these things out. And I by no means am a professional, although my therapist agrees that I've come a long way and that these are a lot of things that I'm better at now. So with that being said, let's get into this. I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of my advice on dealing with relationships in a healthy way while also having mental health illnesses. And that could be in one party or both parties. Okay, so my first big piece of advice, and this one is huge regardless honestly of mental health aside, but the mental health can really escalate this into being more of an issue than it otherwise might be. But the biggest key to me is communication. I think that clearly talking to your partner about your feelings, your thoughts, how things affect you, things that bother you, etc., as they come up and not letting them fester. And this is something that, like I said, has taken me a long time to grasp. But communication is huge. It is, in my opinion, the most important part of a relationship because I think it can make or break any relationship, honestly. And that's regardless of mental health issues aside. But to give you an example of how this can sometimes get a little extra when there are mental health issues involved, I'll give you an example. Let's say your significant other is going through a little period of depression, okay, and they're not in a good place. Maybe you think that it's a good idea to suggest for them to go see a friend, to go see a parent, just something to go do, get out of the house, see someone they don't see all the time, do something a little bit different to get them out of that rut. Somebody with some mental health problems or people that deal with things like, anxieties, etc., can take that personally, can take that to mean that you want them out of your hair, you don't want to deal with them, you want them to be someone else's problem. And even though to you, you think that maybe you're just giving them a suggestion that might be helpful, they could take that in a really hurtful way. So when I say communication, I mean being clear with your intent with things. If someone says something like that and you take it one way and it bothers you, talk to your partner about that. Tell your partner about that. Tell them how that made you feel. Because a lot of times that stuff is miscommunication and could be cleared up by just talking about it instead of one party having to sit there and be upset over something that they otherwise might not have had to be upset about. Another thing that goes along with the communication is try to avoid saying things in the heat of the moment. That goes for the party with mental health problems or the party that does not have mental health problems. Honestly, this is really just a relationship in general advice video with me telling you how it could be a little bit more escalated with mental health. Sometimes it is necessary to take a step away for a minute from an argument, a disagreement, etc., from just a really passionate, I'm so sorry if you hear my kitty, she active, okay? To step away from an argument and take a moment. I know a lot of people, I was one of them, think that once you start a fight, in my brain, if my significant other takes a moment to walk away from that fight, it's because they want to think of excuses. They want to think of lies to tell me or something. They got to get their story straight. And that is a me problem. That is a how I've been conditioned, etc. type of problem. But I have learned a lot that sometimes it is actually beneficial to take that 5 minutes, take a step away. Everyone always says don't let people go to sleep upset. Honestly, if you love someone, you can go to sleep reminding them of that without having things fully resolved. Don't give it a time limit. That's giving it a time constraint on how something has to be resolved. And I just don't think that helps either party who is struggling with something. Sometimes you're gonna go to sleep angry because sometimes your brain just needs a minute to step back, get some rest, reflect on things. You know, your brain processes the day's information while you sleep. So you can wake up feeling differently about something than you felt about it the night before. So sometimes taking that step back, taking that time away, taking a night of sleep in the middle of an argument, sometimes that actually is the healthier thing to do. My other real big piece of advice I would say is talk. And this again goes really in any relationship, but can be so damaging with people with mental health problems. I think one of the most important things is to sit down as a couple and tell your partner what is the most important thing for you in a relationship. What are the most important needs that they need met in order for them to feel okay, in order for them to feel secure, to feel happy, etc. Because you can do 8 million right things, but if you're not focusing on your partner's true needs and you're not communicating those true needs, I don't think that you really will ever be able to truly be what someone needs you to be for them at any given time, do what someone needs you to do for them at any given time. I think that you really need to have an understanding of fundamentally the most important things to your partner. And that looks different for everybody. And I don't think that you should judge your partner if it looks different from yours, because everybody needs something different. And at the end of the day, you can decide if their needs are something that you think are going to work out in the long term, or if it's something that will be a problem for you in the long term. And then maybe you need to sit down and talk and reevaluate some things. Not every relationship ends in marriage. Relationships either end up in being together forever or marriage, or a breakup. There's really one of two ways that any relationship can go. So finding the healthy things as soon as you can is a big step, and especially when you have mental health problems, because things tend to be taken so much more personally. Now, in talking about what your partner needs most, there is also a level between the two of you where you need to have some of what I would call reasonable understanding. Now, there might be times where your partner cannot do the thing that is the most important to you at that time, because everyone has circumstances, situations come up in life. For me personally, I'll give an example. This comes to me in the form of I can't always be totally reliable to end up being at something because I have a lot of physical health problems. So for me, even if I want to be at something and I want to be a certain level of enthusiasm when I'm there, I can't always do that. My body doesn't always allow me to do that. And that's just at this point. That's not to say that will be forever, but at this point, I am meeting myself where I am. I am accepting that. But I also need for a partner to accept that. So for me, if he has expectations of needing me, that I'm not to say that this is in my relationship, this is just an example. If he had expectations of me being at certain functions, let's say, or anything like that, and I can't be there because I end up sick, that to me is a reasonable understanding that you should have of why your partner might not be able to always fulfill your number one or your top things. You have to be able to accept that sometimes situations will get in the way, and although things aren't going the way that you looked for them to go or hoped for them to go, that it is not on your partner, it is on life, and that you shouldn't take it out on each other. If anything, you should be understanding, because at the end of the day, your partner should be the number one person that you can communicate your feelings, your problems, anything to. And they should also be the person who is going to be the most understanding with you of those problems. I think that is the true beauty of being in a relationship, in a healthy relationship. The true beauty is having that honest to God partner in life who is, no matter what, you're gonna pick each other. It's like being in middle school and getting a group project and having your best friend in the class and knowing that you'll always have a partner no matter the project. You're not going to be the person looking for someone. It's having that, but in every aspect of your life, for life. And that is what the beautiful thing can be in relationships, and why, even though I have some mental health problems and that can sometimes make me overanalyze or overthink things, at the end of the day, I know that there is beauty in these things, and I am willing and dedicated, as anyone in a relationship should be, to work on my own problems, but to communicate them with my partner. And I have in the past struggled with this and not done as well with this, and I'm not even saying that to this day I am perfect with it, but I've come a long way, and it helps tremendously in a relationship, in my experience. So there you go. That is my best advice for having a healthy relationship, and especially with those struggling with mental health problems. Something to remember is you are not wrong for having mental health problems. There is nothing that says you shouldn't feel love because of that. There is nothing to say that you can't mess up sometimes. But at the end of the day, this is my collection of advice for you guys. So with that being said, hopefully this helps anyone out there, because this is a video that I think I really could have benefited from seeing at one point. So thank you guys for watching. I am uploading more regularly, as you see. Make sure to subscribe for more content. I will also link my website down below if you guys would like to check it out. I write on there sometimes about random topics. And with that being said, thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.